So, like, as you grow, the more hate you are going to get. And some of the hate is going to be real and some of it's not going to be real, you know? And it's hard to kind of sift through that. People are upset because you didn't say this, because you did say that, because this, that.
Because of how you said it, because of how you looked, because of what you wore, because of who you had.
And one thing I've really appreciated through this is having a support system like our families have really supported us through this.
Hi, welcome back to Gotta Be Me podcast. We're so happy to be here again with you today. We are your hosts. My name is Sophia Benyon, and this is my cousin, Peyton Benyon.
Welcome back to our channel, everybody. If you feel like we have low energy at the beginning of this, it's because we sat in the sun.
Yes, we got so much sunshine
today.
that melatonin is just kicking in, and we're getting sleepy.
Melatonin, yeah. I was thinking
well,
about
our melanin is also popping because of all that sitting in the sun. Today was the solar eclipse. Wasn't that the neatest thing?
Yeah, that was actually crazy. I remember being little and there being a partial eclipse.
But it was nothing like this. Like, it was straight up dark outside. I saw stars. Like,
yeah.
It was like, for real. But like, for 2 minutes. Like, it was sunshine, and then boom, it was dark. And like,
one second we were getting burnt by the sun.
Literally.
And the next second.
And you know what else was weird? How, like, you could not look at the sun, could not all of a sudden blacked out, and you could stare at it. But as soon as a tiny corner of the sun popped back out again, like total brightness, and you could not look at it.
I'm so curious how many Christians are gonna make a video about this.
About the solar eclipse? With some spiritual connection to it.
Yeah, I already saw somebody today.
Like, I can get how people feel like a connection to it.
So we really enjoyed the eclipse, and that was so exciting. But that is not the point of this podcast. We just talked about it because it was like the highlight of our day. Which the day this is released, it won't be the eclipse.
And we're obviously sunburnt.
Obviously. But on the day this will be released, on April 12th, it will have been 7 months since we first released our first podcast, the intro to Gotta Be Me. When I think back on it, I think about how nervous I was for the first
was a wreck.
intro to Gotta Be Me. And I always think, I wish I could re-record the intro, but then I'm like, well, then it wouldn't be an intro, right?
I'm telling you, when they set up the huge light that they put on us for the podcasting, I panicked. Yeah, it's one thing to talk in front of a camera that's on, which was already making me nervous, but the big light, and somehow it just like looms over you. It's like attacking you.
And wait, so did I say it's been 7 months?
Yes, 7 months.
And so we decided that's a prophetic number, 7. Okay, we're not that superstitious, but it was a nice coincidence because I do be a little bit superstitious.
Yeah, and so we said, well, let's just talk about podcasting and what we've learned in these 7 months, and maybe some things we do different, and ways we hope to grow, and just things like that. So
what cracks me up about something we've changed is our like, we had like a little mission statement at the beginning. Okay.
Oh yes.
You know where it says description under our thing, and we said we'll be here to answer any questions you have.
Any questions
at any time. Okay, at any point. And once we started getting into it, and our videos actually started having like a couple views on them,
that changed so fast.
I was like, no, and too many people asked the same questions, and then I was like.
It's like, we got to take that out of our missions. Edit our mission statement. So if you noticed at the beginning that it said, we will answer all your questions, and all of a sudden it's gone.
We will not. And honestly, you can't answer everyone's questions. And it's not even been that many. But the thing is, you can't just answer questions nonchalantly, right? Like, you have to give context for your answers.
Yeah, especially like, okay, like for example, especially the who are you question, or what are you, or what do you affiliate with? I feel like, first of all, so many people ask it. But that's not just a off-the-cuff answer that I can just give you. Now, yes, I can give you a name, and, one day, maybe, we will.
Shut up. We already recorded the podcast.
Well, we haven't released it. I'm just saying, that's not just something I can just, type up a quick little answer. Oh, this is us. You have to have context.
Or even have a short little answer because, you can't. I want to give you the grounds. Wherewith you can understand the context of what I'm saying.
So anyway, if we have not answered every question. Now, we try to, like, keep up with the comments, more or less.
Yeah, if that was something I would have changed, I would have not answered a lot of stuff.
Really? You just left it?
Yeah, I would have just left it. But that's me, I'm not the kind person here.
No, I feel like we should be trying to answer more people.
Yeah, I'm like...
And sometimes when we get stuck in a car, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to answer comments now. And I do it for a little bit, and then I'm like...
See, I'm not a good writer, so I have to be the nag that tries to tell everyone, please answer the comments. And I'm like, we haven't answered this person. We haven't answered that person. You all are showing up, but I can't write it, so I can't do nothing about it.
That's definitely something that if we want to keep up with, we might, like, need more of a team for.
Yeah, but it's tough because I don't feel like people can sound like us. Like, I don't...
That's true.
Like,
gotta get
Camille is it. Like, that's...
Yeah. Our sister's the only one that can answer for us. My sister, your cousin.
What else would you change?
What would I do different? Honestly, what would I do different?
Another thing I thought about was, like, some of our first podcasts, like, I felt like I wouldn't have released some of those, but we just felt like we had to. Like, Liberal versus Conservative podcast, like, I did not feel like that was that good of a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like we had to say, listen, before you hear anything we have to say,
right.
you need to know we're not liberal or conservative.
And at the time, this is something I would do different. At the time, that was all we had. We recorded it, we had to release it, like, for consistency. Yeah. Now, that is definitely something, like, for anyone that's considering starting a podcast, and this is advice we also got a little bit late.
A day late and a dollar short.
But, like, have, like, 10 episodes recorded before you even start.
Because this winter, you got sick.
I got
pneumonia. And we could not record. If you notice, if you look back at our podcast, we have like a month's worth of podcasts where we're completely congested, and we cannot take a break.
And at least we did take a break, even though we technically couldn't for like 2 weeks because we just didn't have anything to post. So I mean, and that's something we've been improving lately. Like we've been like recording. We gotta record 2. We gotta record 2, 3, several times a month. Like a week. Like don't just let it slack off. Like, we need to have a stockpile of episodes just in case something happens because you need that consistency.
I think our major breakthrough is when we started inviting people on the show. And I really wish we could do that every time. But do you know how hard it is to get people in? I think we need a completely, like, just a coordinator that drags people in.
That forces people. Just like a calendar person that like talks to them, talks to us.
Reminds them 3 days before so they don't plan something else. We've had that happen so many times.
Fixes our schedules. Like we've had so many cancellations. We've actually today, this very day, our team showed up to film and nope, we found out.
There was an emergency.
Canceled.
Yep, canceled. And we were like,
oh, me and Peyton get to talk to each other again. No, we're like, honestly, we're never tired of talking to each other. We always interest ourselves, if nobody else. But anyway, getting people on the show is tough. But I feel like that's where me and Peyton are, like, I feel like that's our niche. Like, we can talk to each other, and it's fine. But I think, like, what we really are comfortable and happy doing.
And some of the recent ones that we haven't even released yet, I felt so good about those. Yes. Like, that was nice.
Oh, we love having guests. Like, I'd much prefer to, like, have other people talking and me asking the questions and bringing out what it is that they want to say. Yeah, than me talking all the time.
Guiding the conversation.
Even though I know everybody in the comments says, Sophia talks a lot, and Sophia's very strong-minded.
People don't understand that's just our dynamic. Like, I would literally be uncomfortable if she didn't. Like, I'm comfortable knowing that Sophia is going to fill in the space for me. Like, if I can't think of something to say, she certainly will. Because I think, like, I'm not dumb.
Peyton, stop.
But my brain is just, it takes time.
No, now you're getting off. I need to do better at, like, drawing Peyton out. You know, I was talking about doing it to guests. I need to, like, do it to you. I need to ask you better questions or something.
Well, that was a boring rabbit trail.
Well,
so.
This whole podcast is like rabbit shows right now.
Okay. Well, what's one thing you think we did right? Like, super right.
Our editor and filming team, we got the 2 best girls you ever heard of, and they're so epic.
Girl, yes.
And they're so epic. I love them. And I love that right now, our whole team is girls. Like, it's no hate. It's no, I just like it.
Yeah. And we have good dads, and we love our dads, and we respect men. But, you know, there's something about that.
It's like all girls. Power, like, gotta be me. Like, our Instagram is run by one of our friends. All our comments, the answering, the editing, the filming, it's all girls.
And it's not that we haven't had any males, like, have input on our podcast. It's just, like, the team is all girls. So we like that.
Yeah. I think we've grown, like, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I was surprised because we barely had 500 subscribers after doing, like, 4 months, 5 months. And then, bam, all of a sudden we are close to 10,000, which is mad crazy.
Yeah, it's really tripping me out.
Like, it's not even that many people, but it's just
serious. Like, the fact that 10,000 is even in sight.
You know, in 7 months, that's not bad. I mean, I've heard several people, like, they've worked for years and takes a long time to get their breakthrough. And I believe there's more for us, you know. I'm confident about it. I'm not very confident, but still confident
But
a little bit.
telling myself I'm confident.
I'm manifesting it to myself.
But yeah, I think we still have a very long way to go and like so much to learn.
But it's encouraging because you see space
And
to
I
grow.
think I think at the same time we've come a long way, and I don't think there's anything wrong with like looking back and seeing like, oh, we learned. We didn't stay the same. We're not the same people that got on camera on Intro to Gotta Be Me. We were so stiff. Like, I have to say, like, our first 3 or 4 podcasts were, like, almost scripted. Like, we were, like, telling each other what we were going to say before, almost memorizing it, but still trying to have natural conversation. But it didn't feel that natural because, basically, we were just saying what we said we were going to say. You know?
Right? And it's already,
instead of having a topic that we're engaged in, but not planned like that. So that's another thing. We've gotten so much more comfortable in front of a camera for sure.
If you cannot tell.
I feel like another thing we've learned is how helpful shorts can be. Like
directing people back to your videos.
Yeah, and like you know how funny shorts are too? Like we can post the same short, not the same short, but shorts that look similar, have a similar
titles.
You know, similar. Oh, stop. Don't talk about titles in the middle of my short.
Depressing. Okay, keep going.
Oh no, we'll come back to the titles. But shorts, like sometimes some shorts do so good, like YouTube just picks them up and some don't. But in general, it seems like it helps so much with directing traffic back to our videos.
It depends on the titles, which is what I was saying. It's just that our title
we just feel like we're not
low.
Yeah, we just like we don't shine in that area. And like even though we have the most fantastic team that can like do anything, somehow none of us got the title gift, the titling gift. Like,
and you can win or lose based on
titles.
It's just tough.
And every podcast, every short is a battle, like blood, sweat, and tears to come up with the title. Not for real, but it's tough. It's for real tough. But yeah, so for sure, something we've learned is that we are not very good at titles, and that it would be very good to have somebody on your team that is.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I really appreciate throughout the podcast, you know, as you grow, the more haters you do get. And I realize our growth is on a small scale right now.
Absolutely, but, compared. But for us, I mean, we've never been here before, so to us it's big, right?
It's big. So, like, as you grow, the more hate you are going to get. And some of the hate is going to be real and some of it's not going to be real, you know? And it's hard to kind of sift through that. People are upset because you didn't say this, because you did say that, because this, that.
Because of how you said it, because of how you looked, because of what you wore, because of who you had. Like, the people pick at everything.
And you just got to realize you got to take some of it, you got to leave some of it. And one thing I've really appreciated through this is having a support system like our families have really supported us through this. And
our parents are the best.
That has been a definite thing that we know we can fall back on, you know. I mean, we're not going to mess it up that bad. You know, they're there, and that's been really helpful.
And when we're like, I don't know, everything's just horrible, we just run to our dads and moms. They're like, no, you keep
Calm
going.
Down. What do you need to talk? Who's your target audience? And they keep us right on track.
Keep talking about this.
Talk about it. Go over here.
And just having a whole team of people that we can go to for counsel at any time. Like, we are literally so blessed to be surrounded by people.
And I hope people understand we're not just two little girls out here just happy to talk about whatever. No, we came from somewhere. We come from something big. And you know what? I'm glad that we can share about it.
I think, yeah, we're blessed. We're so blessed. And I think the most important thing, or the biggest thing, or a very significant thing that we've learned over the past 7 months is that we really love to podcast. Like, we enjoy ourselves so much.
There are some bad days, but when it's good, I get
really
such a high. I get such a high. I'll be like on a buzz. Like, I can't go to sleep. Like, if we record something really good,
that goes
I think
well,
it's gonna be really
and you
good.
can feel it. Yeah,
that is just.
We love it.
Makes my day.
And we just hope we keep getting better and better at it. I mean, practice makes perfect. So.
And thank you all for being here for it.
We really appreciate every single
whoever stayed to the end.
Comment
if you stayed to the end, okay?
Yeah, because that's really impressive.
Put the peace, the love, and the hair grease on. For a hair grease, I always just put the lady. Oh, you put the afro. I put the lady with the crown. Or you can put a pick. There is a pick emoji.
There's a pick? I didn't know that.
There's a pick emoji.
Do your thing. I did want to mention really quick, much love to all our subscribers. We really appreciate everyone that clicked that button and thought maybe we were worth sticking around to hear more of what we said. And it's just our goal to keep giving you something that's worth your while. So
we love doing this. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all know what time it is.
Peace, love, and hair grease.